this work camping thing is really something that we're going to latch onto and do going forward. It just works for us.
Yeah.
It gives a lot of people like to hop around, go, and do as many things as they possibly can in a week or 2 week stay. And I don't really care for that too much. I think I've mentioned that in other episodes that I would rather spend 4 to 6 months in an area and then leave, right?
Mm-hmm.
It gives you time to catch your breath, which, by the way, up here, it seems to happen a lot with this
altitude.
Colorado altitude, man. Like, you have to stop and catch your breath. I still do it, and we've been here 3 weeks.
Welcome to 99 Adventures, the podcast where the campsite stories are all about the RV lifestyle. We're your hosts, Alan and Kim, fellow lovers of all things RV living. Here on 99 Adventures, we explore the highs and pickups of life on wheels, whether it's discovering hidden gems off the beaten path or tackling the realities of RV living. But we're not just about the travel, we're about the taste, too. In every episode, we'll cook up something special right from the RV kitchen or campsite. So get hooked up, grab your skillet, and let's hit the road. It's time for 99 Adventures, where the journey and the flavors never stop. Welcome to another episode of 99 Adventures.
Nothing's cooking.
Nothing's cooking. Again.
Nothing's cooking. Hey, we're gonna change it up a little bit and cook every now and then. We're not trying to get away from things that we like, but we just don't always want to cook.
Yeah.
So,
like last night, we found some wings at the grocery store.
For the LSU Arkansas Men's College World Series game.
Yeah. And Alan threw them on the grill. We had some sausage, and that was it, or whatever. But I will include a recipe of something that we've had between the episodes and keep that going. Include a recipe in the description. Before we get any further, happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Happy Father's Day to all the other fathers out there.
Yeah.
Hope y'all have a good day. So, I'm sporting some new clothes that my kids got me.
Yep.
Kim says she's not my father, so my kids got this for me.
Yes, I'm not your dad. Just like you say the same thing. You're not my mother.
Yeah.
Today, we're in the San Juan Forest, which is just a mile from the RV park.
Yep.
Is the RV park considered part of the San Juan?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So the RV park is in the San Juan Forest, but the
San Juan National Forest.
Yeah, National Forest. Excuse me. The campground and the trailhead and all of that is just about a mile up the road. And in our background, we've got the
Vallecito Creek. Some call it Pine River.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the Vallecito Creek. It doesn't look like a creek to me. It looks like a river because it's flowing and flowing
fast.
I was going to fish, but I broke my rod in the truck door, which I'm really hot about. Not happy right now. I've got to go buy another one.
All right. So we're going to give an update on week 3 of work camping, how it's going.
Me working.
Yes.
Yes.
How it's going, some things we've learned, some things we've had to do to adjust to being here, specifically for me working. We'll get into that a little bit. First of all, do you want to give an update how things are going on your end with the work camping?
Yeah, week 3, I think I kind of went over the duties last time, but there's been some additional things that they've added to the work scope. It's cleaning up campsites, making them ready, and cleaning them up after people have departed, picking up, cleaning out the
fire pits,
the dog disposal things.
Yeah. You have to fill propane tanks.
Stocking ice, filling propane tanks.
Aren't you cutting firewood?
Cutting firewood, splitting firewood, stacking it, making sure that it's ready for the customers. So far, they've started a big project where we're going to start refinishing all the picnic tables, restaining them throughout the park. And so far, that's been the gist of the daily routine. I work Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, So I'm off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Pretty sweet deal for a full hookup site, and with electricity, propane, firewood, ice is all included.
Laundry.
We don't have to pay for laundry. Those are all really nice perks, and they don't sound like very much, but they add up. You know, if you were to have to fill up your propane tank, and we've got two 30-gallons, so that's 60 gallons of propane. So probably be $50-$60 every time we did that. So it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's still been cold here.
And it's still cold here, so we actually use the propane.
Absolutely.
Even though it is middle of June, we're still running our heater up here. We're getting up, and it's still 43 to 47 in the morning. And then our eyes are we've yet to run our AC.
No, but it is getting a little warm.
Yeah.
In the rig.
So, yeah, good perks to have.
But speaking of AC, like the cabins here, none of the cabins have AC, correct?
No, they've got window units.
They do have window units?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But a lot of the houses up here do not have central heat. Central air.
Air, yeah.
They have heat, but not central air.
Which is a little different, but we've gone into a couple of houses locally for a couple of reasons, and even the middle of the day, which is getting in the low 80s, and it's perfectly cool in those houses. Not stuffy, not anything. So, that's totally different, right, for us being from Texas and the South and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And again, the community has been great.
The community's been great. The management at the park have been just outstanding. All the work campers get along. We all do things together, which I think is about the norm for work camping scenarios.
You would hope so.
You would hope so.
This is our first one, but if this is, I think a little bit, we found a diamond in the rough, I do believe.
Yes, we were talking about that last night, and I think we hit a gold mine with our first one out the gate being blue spruce, because number one, the area up here is just fantastic. Where else are you going to see this? There's plenty of places I know, but to get to work and come and see this all the time is just fantastic. To get out of the summer heat, to do, as far as I'm concerned, very minimal work for a spot that they don't do monthly rates here, but they do daily rates, and that daily...
They do a weekly rate.
Not until late in the summer.
Oh.
And you do the math, and it's well over $1,200 a month.
Yeah.
And so we're getting a pretty sweet deal, not having to pay that, and to be able to experience and see the stuff that's around here is just phenomenal. So
yeah,
I highly encourage work camping gigs if you can get one, and there's tons of them out there.
There really are. We keep looking for them, mostly on Facebook, the work camper groups you can join, and they're just still posting constantly.
They're still posting for summer jobs.
For summer, yeah.
Technically, you should have been on summer job at the end of May, maybe even the middle of May, and work through probably the end of September, which is what we're going to do, and then go from there. So
yeah, but we have learned something about the work camping thing that we did not know anything about, and it totally makes sense once you really think about it, and that's contracts. So most of the time, supposedly, the work camper jobs have contracts, and there are contracts here at Blue Spruce.
Yes.
Correct?
From what I understand.
From what we know. But we were never asked to sign one. It was mostly just a handshake deal.
Yeah. And it worked out. I think the point is that going forward, we're going to ask for that contract before we depart, because some of the things that we've learned from other people is that you could pack up your house, your rig, and head 1,200, 1,600, 1,800 miles for a work camping gig, and you get there and they go, oh, sorry, all the positions are filled.
And Phil.
We know we promised you one, but if you have a contract in hand, then there's a written obligation that they have to you, and then vice versa, you have to them for the work that you're going to provide to the park for your spot.
I think it also includes like the dates, which I think are important.
Yeah, the dates are super important. So that contract is going to include all of that information. So yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that.
No.
We did not know that.
But then, like I said, once you really think about it, it does make sense. We just did a prayer and packed up and stayed in contact with the park. We had a few conversations you had with the park manager, but other than that,
that's it.
That was it.
That was it.
So I feel like we really lucked out with this one, but we were just getting into summer and the park is just really getting busy. It was super busy this weekend, being with Father's Day and all that kind of stuff. So excited to see how it goes on as we get deeper into the summer and stuff like that. But they've asked me to help in a couple of different areas, and I've offered to help in a couple of areas, which I certainly do not mind. We have had potlucks, and we have bingo night that we're going to help with.
Poker night.
Just making sure, spread the word when there's like a concert. They bring in music, so making sure people know, hey, there's a concert out at the pavilion and that kind of stuff. So
yeah, it's the customer service portion of being a work camper.
I just want to say we've got flies around here and we keep swatting and gnats and everything, but we found a little gadget. I didn't bring it with me.
That everybody in the park has.
Yes. It's on Amazon. I'll leave a link and I'll drop some footage of us using it right here. It looks like a tennis racket and it's a bug zapper. And so you can just get those mosquitoes. And I didn't realize mosquitoes were so bad here. They're as bad here as they are in South Texas or South Louisiana. I mean, anywhere in the South. And I know if you're going up to Alaska or maybe along the Pacific coast, they can get pretty bad there too. But this is just a cool little like bug zapper, and it catches them and
electrocutes them.
Yeah, just like a regular one that you hang up or whatever, just handheld or.
Yeah, back to the work camping thing. There's been some other things that are not part of the job description, if you will. Like we've had medical emergencies in the park, and
a very unfortunate one.
We've had there was a bear reported.
That was yesterday too.
That was yesterday.
We had two things yesterday,
and it was just down the road from the park. So everybody watches out for everybody around here, and so they got on the phone to the park, let them know that there's a bear headed our way, and so the person that was on duty for the grounds crew, which that's what I am, was to go around and inform the guests, especially those that had kids, small kids, to be on the lookout, dogs, and so forth. They're just coming out of hibernation and they're hungry. And it doesn't matter if it's a black bear or a brown bear. We don't have brown bears around here, thank God. But black bears can be just as dangerous and cause just as much damage. So it's a big deal with the bears around here. Just additional duties as required type deal.
You might have an opportunity to do another big job on the side on your off days, a paid thing for the park. I'm still looking into that if that's what
what all it entails and so forth. So, but we're already looking forward to our next little adventure. I put in for, it's called the Sugar Beet Harvest Fest.
Not fest.
Fest, whatever.
Sugar beet harvest.
Harvest. And so I put in for that one. I applied for that one online. That one starts mid-October and it only lasts 30 days. So mid-October to mid-November and you're done. It's in Michigan. Bay City, Michigan?
Somewhere around there.
So if I get that one and we still want to pursue that one, then the plan would be to leave here the end of September. Got a couple of doctor's appointments to go to. Spend about a week in San Antonio, our home base, and then head up to Michigan to do that deal. Now that's a paid gig. That one actually is working 9-hour days, 7 days a week for 30 days. And I think they pay $21 or $22 an hour, plus overtime, plus your site, plus electricity. And so pretty good little opportunity to not only get a full hookup site and see some stuff, but also get paid, So who could complain about that?
Yep. I'm still working from home remotely with my job and everything, but if you all have followed us for any time, we've talked about the fact that we use Starlink exclusively and we love it. It's worked great until we got here. It's just too many trees here. And so we went off the recommendation of those that are in the park and had a local company, CenturyLink, come out and set us up, and it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
We literally had it for one day and I canceled it.
Yeah. Last episode was late because I just didn't have the bandwidth to get the episode
uploaded,
edited and uploaded. Uploaded to the editing software, edited, and then downloaded and uploaded into all the different platforms. So it was a little late going out because of that. So we went into Durango to the T-Mobile store, and we got the T-Mobile
on the go,
home away,
yeah.
Oh yeah, home away deal. It's a plan. And it comes with a, what do you call that thing? Tower.
It's been as good or better than Starlink in these trees. So
yeah.
I think the main point is that we've always heard from other full-time RVers, it's always good to have two sources of internet. And we knew that, we just never pulled the trigger on it. But man, we got to an area where it was a necessity.
It really was.
And she couldn't work.
No, it was bad. I was about in tears.
She was having to use her hotspot on her phone, and which built up, and then they start throttling it after a certain period. It was a good thing we had it, Band-Aid, but now we've got the T-Mobile. It works a lot like Starlink, where you can turn it off and on. The only difference is a T-Mobile, you can only do it twice per year or 6 months.
Every 90 days, something about every 90 days.
And then they still charge you $10 a month, right? So $10, whatever, we'll eat that. But yeah, that T-Mobile is phenomenal, and highly recommend that one.
Yeah.
Especially the newer version of it. I know a lot of full-time RVers have the older one, and now T-Mobile kind of revamped that because they caught on what a lot of RVers were doing. And not that y'all were doing anything bad or wrong. It was just
it was a workaround.
It was a workaround, right? And they caught on to it, and they said, well, we need to do a model like Starlink. And so they did. And so I think all the older towers maybe have a grandfather thing into them, but anybody new that's subscribing has to do the on the go?
On the go or home away
plan.
I'll include a link.
And it's an unlimited plan. There's also one that's I think 200 megs, and then that's your limit.
Yeah.
And that wasn't going to be enough for us, so we went with the unlimited. It's pricey. It's just like Starlink. It's $160. It's $165.
Same price as Starlink.
You can see how they're following Starlink's model. We turned Starlink off, and we were going to pay Starlink $165 anyway. So we're just now paying T-Mobile $165. So no harm, no foul.
Yeah. And the great thing about Starlink, and this was helpful in determining, did we need the unlimited plan with T-Mobile, or was it just the 200 meg, was in Starlink, you can see your usage. The Starlink app is just like one of the easiest apps I have ever used, and it has so much information on there and good data and all that kind of stuff. And I knew over the last 6 months or so, I had seen every month how much we had been using, and it was 700 to 900 megs every month. And I was like, okay, that 200 isn't going to work. We're going to have to go unlimited. So that's what we did. But definitely, if you're remote working, you need 2 sources of internet for sure. But I will say,
But these are
even if you're not remote working and you're just streaming, or there's homework, or
I got to have my Houston Astros playing. I think really what we're trying to get across is one of those things that we've learned, right, about work camping. It's going to take you to some remote places like where we're at, and to be prepared for those scenarios, especially if one or both of you work from home, right? Because you still have obligations with your work to get your work accomplished and get stuff sent and uploaded, and you can't do that. You can't do your job if you can't get the bandwidth. So lesson learned for us.
Yeah.
Hopefully y'all learn from that and just go prepared wherever you go. But I will say that if that T-Mobile will work here, I just can't even imagine where it won't work.
Yeah.
And that's how much canopy we have in trees around here. It's just unbelievable, and it just works just doesn't even skip a beat.
It really doesn't. It really does. It's been working really well. And of course, T-Mobile has their coverage map that you can always check that out to see if the area you're going to be at is one where they have good coverage. And this wasn't like the best coverage area.
No, it's on the map. It's showing 4 and 5G.
4 and 5G, but there was other areas that were even stronger, that were just 5G.
Yeah.
So to say that this isn't even like our area was not the actual strongest spot, I mean, I think it really speaks to.
Yeah. Anyway, enough
service.
about that. I think we can wrap it up with the question of, based off of our experience thus far, only week 3 into it, would we recommend work camping as an option to be able to travel? And my opinion is emphatically yes. It has been just, again, maybe we just got really, really lucky and our next one is not going to be as pleasant and as beautiful as this. I just can't see how it would be a negative if in a new area that you've never been to, and you get to go explore things that you've never gotten to explore, and your site is paid for and electricity is paid for. To me, it's a no-brainer. This work camping thing is really something that we're going to latch onto and do going forward. It just works for us.
Yeah.
It gives a lot of people like to hop around, go, and do as many things as they possibly can in a week or 2-week stay. And I don't really care for that too much. I think I've mentioned that in other episodes that I would rather spend 4 to 6 months in an area and then leave, right? It gives you time to catch your breath, which, by the way, up here, it seems to happen a lot with this
altitude.
Colorado altitude, man. Like, you have to stop and catch your breath. I still do it, and we've been here 3 weeks. To each their own. Everybody does things their own way. For us, this works, and it gives us time that if we wake up one day and we don't feel like doing anything, we don't. We just hang around,
And that's awesome too, because there's just a great community in the park, and it's just so easy. I was going to say,
we would definitely recommend. I would.
And if I wasn't working full-time, I would love to do the work camping, to be in the office, greeting guests, making reservations, taking calls, whatever. I would totally love to do that as well. I wasn't having a full-time job, which
We're working on that too.
we're trying. So like and subscribe, and
Yeah.
that might help. I was going to say before we sign off that here in the San Juan National Forest, we went on a hike a week ago, and highly recommend this area if you want to come and try out this campground. The hiking was great, and we didn't even get very far. We went
Probably a mile and a half, maybe.
Yeah, we had the dogs with us.
We're getting tired.
Yeah, so we didn't go too far, but of course, this is your background.
So that to put it into perspective, right? Just a mile and a half high. Right now, we're on the river or creek, whatever you want to call it. And by the time we went a mile and a half this way, you look down at this river and it is hundreds of feet down. You don't realize when you're actually going up, and you are, and it's crazy. Yeah.
It's a elevation climb, and
Not hard though.
No, it wasn't hard, but it was moderate, I would say. And it's long. You can take it apparently all the way to Silverton, Colorado from here.
So I've heard people say that it doesn't end.
Yeah, that's what one lady said, right?
Yeah, it just doesn't end. I mean, it's just go.
Yeah.
This time of the year is kind of sketchy with the bears. I mentioned the bears. We don't have brown bears, but we got black bears. And once you start getting way up in there, and this really goes to anywhere, any kind of bear country, which we are in bear country, the mothers are still with their cubs. And so they will, till death do you part, right? If you come across a black bear with cubs. And so just use caution. People have told us probably ought to get some bear spray and stuff like that.
But this campground, not all the campsites, but there are quite a few campsites that are actually sit right here on this river, and it is so peaceful. I can't imagine sleeping to that at night, right? And be awesome. So anyway.
Well, we can do that.
Yeah, we can bring the RV, or
no,
we have to
tent.
We have to keep
an actual tent. But some say real camping.
Real camping, right?
Yeah.
With a tent. Okay. So anyway, San Juan National Forest. If you're up in this area, there really is a lot to do in this area with Vallecito Lake, renting boats, paddleboarding, kayaking, fishing.
Yeah, Vallecito Lake is the background of our last video.
Yes.
So we're pretty much on that lake.
Yep.
And you have tons of these rivers and streams all throughout this whole area. So
trailheads. And then, of course, you're not too far from Durango, so you can go into Durango. There's lots of great restaurants, shopping, Main Street downtown, all that kind of stuff. So,
all right. Anyway. So, work camping, yes? No?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Work camping, yes.
Yes.
For sure.
All right.
All right. Okay. I guess that wraps up another journey on 99 Adventures. So, again, we don't have anything to cheer, but
yeah, well, we cheer that we're here.
We are cheering that we're here. So here's to RV life, tasty meals, and adventures still waiting for us.
Cool.
Enjoy your next adventure, and bon appetit.